Going through a change. You don't have to be ashamed of yours. We are all in the process of transforming to a higher, better expression of myself. Let this be the year that I birth a higher, better expression of myself. Don't let the habits of my past stop me from this metamorphosis. New year, new me. New year, new me. What separates us is transformation. The possibility of change. The desire to evolve. The passion to get up off the ground and stop eating dirt. I'm tired of doing what I used to do. If I always do what I've always done, I'll always be where I've always been. I'm gonna throw it behind me. There's somebody in this room that nobody would think would be in a church tonight, but you drew them to this place tonight because you want them to be a new me and a new year and have a new attitude and a new mind. Because the real battleground is in your mind. That's where the fight is. You lay down with it. You get up with it. You go to work with it. You can't digest your food because of it. Smiling in front of people and nobody knows that there's gunfire going off in your head. It's not a geographical location. It's not debt. It's not money. It's not haters. It's not enemies. It's not liars. It's not backbiters. That's not the battleground. Stop wasting your weapons on what people say, because it is not what they say about you that matters. It is what you say about you that threatens your destiny. You will never be defeated by what they say about you. You will be defeated by what you say about you.
I dedicate this to you, to the greatness in you, and to the dream that you showed up on the planet to produce. And it's simply this: if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gulf,
God needs to be reawakened within man. He was born with power and wisdom. With a powerful spirit infused no one. But his uncontrolled desire for pleasure got the best of him.
Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. You changed.
But I'm the best ever.
Welcome to Man's Superpower. Feel your power, bro. What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to another live. Welcome to another episode of Man's Superpower. Tonight, let's talk about my Christian story. I have hinted at it. I have said a few things here and there about my Christian story or my Christian background. But if you have watched Iron in the Soul, he and I have had similar Christian journeys as ministers of the gospel, as theologians. We both have gone to Bible schools and earned degrees in theology. But perhaps you would not know that because I curse, I fireball, and my life today is a different life than my Christian life. Some Christians would call me a backslider right now. Yellow, my brother Milsha Castellan. I'm getting that right. Milsha Castellan, my brother. And so my Christian story is crazy, but it's a great story. I'm just happy to be alive, that God did not kill me. He wouldn't, but I'm here, okay? And I have mentioned my Christian story, or my struggle in the church, my struggle with porn and sexuality. Well, not sexuality, with porn and sex, because there is a difference. If I said I struggled with my sexuality, then it might mean that I didn't know what gender I was, or I didn't know what sex I was. I know I am a man, a male. I have a penis, and I am designed to interact with a female, a woman. That's my trust, that's my understanding, that's my belief, and that's where I stand, okay? And I take no issue at anybody on any other side. But it's just not natural. And so most of my struggle with pornography and sex really happened in the church, because I grew up in the church. I began to work in the church. I've been a youth minister at several different churches. I've served on the board of directors at one church and leadership team at several churches, about 3 that I can remember. I've been a youth minister at 2 churches. I've been a fundraiser chairman. That means I've helped the church raise about $250,000 to put down on a new building, on acquiring a new land to build a new church. I've been to Bible school, or what we call seminary, and I have my first bachelor in practical theology. I was being groomed to be a Christian minister, to become a pastor. By nature, I am pastoral. I care for people. I nurture people. I nurture people's souls. Even in this work, you can see how I do my work, right? You can tell that my work is a bit different. I am at nurturing you, helping you see the light. I am at holding your hand no matter what the struggle is and how you struggle, no matter how many times you've relapsed. I have the bigger picture. I have the bigger perspective. And so with all of these positions that I held in the church, all of the work that I did in the church, I was quietly and silently, if that's not redundancy, I was quietly and silently struggling with pornography and sex. It wasn't just pornography. It wasn't like I would just go home and watch porn after services or before services or anything like that. It wasn't just that. I was sleeping with the members. I was sleeping with my sisters in Christ and pastors' daughters, ladies of praise and worship teams, the administrators. At 2 churches, I slept with the administrator because I have served in the capacity of an administrator at 2 churches, but without the declared title. So that means the churches didn't have an administrator, by virtue of my business background and my business degree background, I was able to serve in the capacity of administrator in those churches, or administrator by interim, you would call it, but I was never made officially an administrator. That means I got to work with the administrator, secretary of the church, pastors' daughters, leaders, group leaders, ministry leaders. And as a young man, being 6 foot something, full of energy, full of intellect, full of the gift of gab. And of course, you know, when you're a minister in the church and you're young, you're full of life. You are a magnet for women in the church. And this is why I am not hard on the pastors that have fallen. I understand them, and I do have a soft spot for them in my heart. Any minister in the church, be it male or female, who has fallen sexually in the church, who has committed what we call sexual sins in the church, I don't look down upon them. I don't condone it either, but I understand the struggle because I have both served in the church and experienced that struggle myself. Remember, the church is no different than a business out there in the real world. Well, in the world. The church is no different than any man shining out there in the world. This is why it's so easy for the pastor to fall into sexual sins. The pastor is the alpha of the church. He is the leader. He is the alpha. He's full of life. He's full of energy. He's full of knowledge. He doesn't take crap from nobody. He leads. He looks good. And let alone if he's working out, he eats well. He rests. He makes money. His wife is usually a hot wife. Look, you got to understand from the context of female attraction, female psychology, from the context of biology, the nature of women, and from the context of attraction psychology, the pastor is the peacock of the church. He is the alpha. And other ministers under him are also alphas, but alphas that serve him as the biggest alpha. These guys are running the show in the church. What do you think? You know what women like. Women love men in positions. Women love men in power. Women love men who shine. Women love men who are making progress. Women love men who are well spoken. Women love men who are decision makers, pushers. Well, the pastor and ministers in the church are like that. Now, the narrative of, well, they're Christian and they're not supposed to engage in sexual sins, well, we have a lot to debate when it comes to that, because the individuals are humans with physical bodies under the constraints of biology, under the constraints of the unconscious mind, under the constraints of physical urges. I think, of course, that's one of the reasons I left the church. We can, talk about that. I can answer lots of questions. It's that prevailing ignorance of science, that prevailing misunderstanding or even refusal of science causes Christians to struggle. And so I struggled a great deal in the church because I lacked the necessary scientific understanding that would help me even to do something as, well, stop sinning in a particular area, right? And so both men and women are still humans. They are still under the constraints of biology. They are still under the constraints of their reproductive system. And like I've been saying in my work, willpower is not enough to abstain from sexual perversion. Willpower is not enough to abstain from pornography. Willpower is not enough to abstain from promiscuity. Willpower is not enough to abstain from cheating. Willpower is not enough to abstain from covetousness. That is seeing that woman while you have your own, you're like, that pastor's wife looks good, doesn't she? Most men in the church lust after the pastor's wife. Most men in the church lust after the pastor assistant's wife, because those guys are alphas. They get the prettiest girl in the church. They get the prettiest women in the church. You would be hard pressed to find a pastor with what we would call an attractive woman. No, because he's the alpha. He has his choice. He has his pick. And most times, they do make the best choice, at least visually, at least as far as beauty is concerned. Not necessarily in terms of strength of mind or strength of character, but physically speaking, most pastors have hot wives, okay? And so a lot of men in the church, leaders around the church, around the pastor himself, lust after the pastor's wife. Usually she's packing a big trunk, curvatures, curves that hit everybody in the church. Anyway, and so I struggled a great deal in the church with pornography and masturbation, as well as sleeping with the members of the church. Now, I never slept with a regular member of the church, just as even in the world outside, I've never really slept with what you would call a regular girl. It's usually somebody in a position, management, a professional. Those are the women that I'm attracted to, and those are the women who are attracted to me, who want to pursue me because they see what they can gain from me, right? And usually it's intellectuality, wisdom, clarity, power of presence, magnetism, that energy women crave and want. And so when they see a man like that, they want that man. At least they want to consider dating him and see if it would work. And so in the church, it wasn't no different for me. I went with, dated, smashed, sinned with, if you want to call it that way, women in ministry leaders, pastors' daughters, praise and worship leaders, praise and worship team members, administrators, youth leaders assistant, my assistant as a youth leader. And so I know for a fact, given my experience in the church, given my training, whether it be my theological training, my business training, and my leadership training, given my research in addiction and in sexuality, I know for a fact the majority of men in the church struggles with sex and pornography. Now, make no mistake, even the married men in the church suffer with sex, because feminism is very big in the church. I hope you know that. Feminism is very big in Christianity. And so the same issues that the non-Christian men would experience in the real world, the Christian man does experience that too at home. That is, his wife denying him sex, his wife being unaffectionate towards him, because usually the pastor is saying this is how the man should act towards his wife, and the man being an alpha male or usually a strong man, and he's like, no, this is not the way that I'm supposed to act with my wife. I'm not supposed to beg her. I'm not supposed to be her servant. And so there's a discrepancy there. There's a disconnect there because the main pastor is saying this is how the husband needs to be with the wife, and the husband's like, nah, that ain't me. And that's what gives you the situation where the churches are filled with mostly women than men, because men left the church. There are many men with Christian wives. Those men don't go to church. On Sunday morning, they watch games, they watch sports, they go do something in their lives, and their wives go to church. Because those men don't want to submit to the pastor, who is constantly, although the pastor is an alpha, but he's constantly teaching those men to be beta males. He's constantly teaching them to submit to the women, to be led by the women. And of course, you know why, because women give the largest amount of offerings, and women operate off emotions. So when the pastor delivers the biggest emotional piece of sermon, of course, hallelujah, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, that's my pastor. And of course, next she writes a big check, or she puts a big offering in the church. Women are no different in the world than in the church than they are in the world. And so that disconnect causes women to really treat those men as beta males, and those men are not getting sex just like a regular man off the street is not getting sex. And usually those guys engage in pornography or in prostitution or in cheating, if that's what I want to use. And so as a man who's been through that experience, and I have several individuals in my life who keep reminding me that you have a great calling because you've experienced these things in the church and you have overcome. You are this man now. Now it's your responsibility to go back and teach your brothers, your Christian brothers. In fact, I have a client who told me that recently. That's your ministry as well. That's your area of operation as well, because you're both trained in Christian affairs, and you now understand the science of addiction, as well as semen retention, and as well as the damages that these things cause in any relationship, be it a Christian or be it a secular relationship. All right, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Who is here? Milsha. My brother, it's good to have you here. I appreciate you, man. Yellow. Yo, Philly Cheese is in the house. Philly Cheese is a brave man. We spent the day texting back and forth, keeping him company, uplifting his spirit, helping him to enter a new season in his life, because he was brave enough to jump on the call with me last night, and I told him that I would provide him with free coaching, and that's exactly what we've started with him. What up? Who's in the house? Who else is in the house? Let's talk. Let's see if I can read this. Like we say in here, eres todo un loquilo. You are all what? Translation, please. Have you fully completed the Bible? In what sense? Have I fully read the Bible? Completed in what sense? Completed reading, studying, understanding. Help me Be more specific. Ambition matters, my brother. Welcome to the house. What up, what up, what up, what up? Nah, you didn't miss much. It's only been 25 minutes. I was just laying the foundation for my story. I was giving a synopsis of my story in the church as a Christian minister, youth leader, and theologian student, and how I slept with half of the church and all the other stuff. Yes, sir. Yeah. I mean, that's the common practice in the church. It's a common practice in the church to, as a minister, or even more so as a Bible student. I was a Bible student. Well, I still am. I still study my Bible. But as a minister in the making, as a leader, you would either be asked, or you would join the pastor, or it's something that would happen. Now, whether you follow through with reading the entire Bible, that's another question, but that's a common practice, and I have several times. Yes, I have several times. And I have several Bibles. All right, so I don't have any Bible near me right now. That's a new studio. This studio is only 1 month old since I relocated here. I don't have any Bibles near me right here, but in my old studios, I always had Bibles near me. I love the Holy Bible. I love almost every book in the Bible. It's the Bible is a prodigy. The Bible is an act of miracle, and this is not just a Christian or a man with a Christian background speaking. The Bible really is actually, in terms of its in its kind, or in its category, that's the only of its kind. The work that it took to put all those books together, and the amount of time, and the different places where the books were written, and the different languages that the books were written in, and it's a feat in itself. It's a great feat in itself, and that in itself deserves respect. And of course, when you read the Bible symbolically, that is, if you read the Bible, what's the word I'm looking for? Literally, you'll be confused. And this is what non-Christians have a problem with. And some Christians too, if not the majority of Christians, do struggle with the fact that they read the Bible literally and they expect it to make sense. And the Bible does not make sense literally, because it's a symbolic book. It's a mythical book, and it's a mystical book. It's a symbolic book. It's figures. What's the other term? Symbolism that require interpretation and then contextual application. Okay? Every book in the Bible require symbolic interpretation and contextual application. So you have to read the Bible, understand the symbolism, and then apply the symbolism or the symbolic meaning to your particular context today, 2021, April 20th. Right? And this millennia and this century. And so the majority of Christians struggle with that, because they are taught the Bible literally, and they expect it to have literal meaning, which it cannot, and that creates a division among the people. Yeah. Is it what? Now, remember, Felicis, this is a conversation, but it's not a verbal conversation between me and you. Yeah, you're hearing me, but you're communicating with me through text, through writing. So you have to write the whole statement you have in your mind for you to actually communicate with me. I know if we were just talking on the phone and I said the Bible is symbolic and you would say, is it? I would say, yeah, it's very symbolic, because we would be face to face. But I think that's what you mean. But if we're writing and another guy would write it, would send another chat, then your is it may be lost between other comments. Yes, the Bible is is it worth reading? Very much. Is the Bible worth reading? Very much. So I'm thinking about this question. No, that's not my understanding. Actually, I do not share this view or this belief. Our enslavers did not write the Bible. They did use the Bible to give us the literal Christianity. Understand what I'm saying, right? The literal Christianity, the Christianity that requires a literal interpretation of the books of the Bible, indeed was given by as where history kind of helps us understand that slave masters had something to do with the spreading of the literal Christianity, but they did not write the Bible. When you know the story of how the Bible came together, it wasn't written. That's something different. It wasn't written by slave masters. But yes, slave masters created a certain type of Christianity that allowed slaves to be docile. Because Christianity, well, that literal Christianity that I talk about, right? Remember, I just told you that the Bible, there's a group of Christians that interpret the Bible literally. Those are the people who struggle with the Bible. Those are the docile Christians. Those are the Christians who are waiting for God to appear in the sky and deliver them. Those are the Christians who need money but will not go and find a job. What does that show you? That shows you a slave mentality. Those are the Christians who solely rely on some sort of miraculous God and the pastor to tell them how to live and what to tell them and how to behave. And so those people don't have their own personal relationship with the universe, relationship with God, relationship with the higher understanding and the higher power of the universe. And so they cannot understand the Bible because they do not read the Bible symbolically. But the mystics, the spiritual people, even secular individuals read the Bible symbolically, and they get tremendous amount of meaning from it. For example, if you watch Immortal Minds a lot, he refers a lot to the Bible. He's never referred to himself as a Christian. Iron in the Soul is a minister, such just as I am, but I don't really refer to myself as a Christian. I tell people I left the church. I am in limbo. I haven't been to church in a long time, and so you have lots of individuals who have read the Bible symbolically and benefited greatly from the Bible. You've heard Napoleon Hill. If you've consumed any material from Napoleon Hill, you would have heard him quote the Bible tons of times. And Earl Nightingale and what's his name? One of our favorite guys, Jim Rohn, quoting the Bible. These are successful secular men. They have never identified themselves as Christians. And so it is not my belief that our slave masters wrote the Bible. And that's not even what history reported. Just wanted to clarify that. Have they used it to cause their slaves to be docile? Absolutely, they have. They have used it to render their slaves docile. Absolutely. And yes, that it in fact did happen. But that's where it stops. My brother, Ambition Matters, thank you for that super chat. I appreciate you. You're going to help me to get paid from YouTube. I think I'm like about maybe $10 short to get paid from YouTube this month, because you got to have $100 for YouTube to pay you. That tells you of all the work that I put in here. I did a 3-hour live last night, and I'm already 40 minutes in, and I have another live tomorrow with Boss at Home. Look forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. I didn't make $100 for the month because YouTube takes about 40% from every super chat. So YouTube is gonna take $4 from these $10. And so if you don't make $100, YouTube does not send you that money. I think I'm like $88 for the month. Because I don't make money on ads. That makes sense, because once your content has certain keywords such as SEX, SR, fapping, most companies won't advertise on your video. And then plus I don't get the views, because the views you get paid per mil, per thousands of views. And so anyway, I think this $10 is going to help me to get paid $100 this month. Maybe that will pay internet or and this program and whatnot. So I appreciate you. Let's see what you said. We must claim our identity. Self-knowledge is self-empowerment. The culture is the operating system, and spirituality is the glitch in the matrix. I would agree very much. And these are strong statements, and I'm looking forward. By the way, this man is coming on next Monday. If you were here last week, I think Ambition Matters stopped by, and we did carry a good conversation on the live, and I asked him to come on, and he did email me, and we have settled for next Monday at 8 p.m. He will be here on the live with us. Last night, our brother Philly Cheese jumped on to share his own story with us, although our system was giving us we were having some technical difficulty, so the live kept cutting, kept interrupting, but we did get a chance to talk. I am happy that tonight the live has not been interrupted. So internet is fine, computer is working fine. Praise be to the all. And so Ambition Matters will be here Monday, the 29th. Okay, next Monday at 8 p.m. We haven't I haven't gotten an email back from you on the time per se, but I know for sure you did say Monday, and then I did email you saying I will get back with you on the details. So the details include the time, 8 p.m., and then operating system, whether it's on the phone you're gonna be or a desktop, and little things like that. So I get with you on an email about these things. And so I am very much looking forward to spending this time talking with you, interviewing you, hearing your story, and also hearing your wisdom, what a good word that you have to share with me and the guys in the audience. I am actually happy for doing this kind of work. Since last year, I launched this live. Since I created the studio to go live, I've had quite a number of guys on the show, and a lot of them are either my clients, guys from the chat. I've had Boss at Home from the chat. I've had Coach Ali from the chat. I've had who else? And then now Ambition Matters. Well, this morning Philly Cheese jumped on, and I think Merka is next. I think Merka would want to jump on. Merka, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up, that, because I was thinking about it. You have done a lot of graphics for me. You've been working with me. Merka is actually, it's gonna take some time to design some merch for me. He's a graphic designer. He wants to design, well, I've asked him if he could design some merchandise for me, starting with the t-shirt. You see that my t-shirt in the background, that's my first Men's Superpower t-shirt. And so, as I connect with you guys like that, those of you who want to come forward and work with me and share your story and be on the camera and let people see you and let people hear your voice, I'm all for it. I am an Aquarius, which means predominantly I'm gregarious. I seek connection. I connect with people. Women that I date have a problem with that, because wherever I go, I'm always talking to people. At the store, at the restaurant, it's always like, "Whoa, baby, we need to go. Stop talking. You keep talking." Like, well, I'm a people person. I'm a leader. I'm a pastor. And so that's my way. And I don't think I should be doing this work just like a pastor does or a leader does. Or anybody else is single, a one-man show. I think it's better when we bring other people on, especially people from your work, people who have benefited from your work. You guys watching me, bringing you on it changes the game, as opposed to where I'm bringing you this guy who's already a successful S-artist. There we go, S-artist. This is from Mercha. Please forgive me. I keep saying Milcha, Merka, Melcha. Don't worry, it's the same guy. I'm talking about this guy, okay? I'm talking about this guy. What was I saying? Right. And so when I interact with you guys from the audience, it says that you're more than a subscriber. You are a fan, or you are a partner in this kind of work. You understand? My engagement on my channel is very tight. I don't get a lot of views, but out of the small views that I get a lot of engagement from that. And that means there's a good connection between me and my viewers and the guys who interact with me and follow me. And so Boss at Home was inspired to start his channel by my work. He's been on the podcast 3 times, I think. And now tomorrow, Boss at Home will be here at 8 p.m. That will be his 4th time on here. And so it shows the quality of the work. It shows the intention behind the work. And that's a leader, okay? That's a leader, because we have a lot of shows out there where the the creator keeps bringing other creators, other people already up here to talk to his audience, never raising someone from the audience. And see, in the church, you are taught to raise someone. The pastor is taught or has to raise someone to take his position, has to raise a leader or leaders to take positions, to replace older leaders who are retiring or dying soon. That's a fact of life, right? And so I have this kind of way about me, or this philosophy. I raise people, right? You know, I've been talking to you, I've been teaching you, I've been sharing insights with you. Well, what have you learned? Well, come here and share with us what you have learned. Share with us your progress. Give us a progress report. Let us raise you. Yeah. So I appreciate you, Ambition Matters. I appreciate you, Milka, Philly Cheese, for coming on also. Yeah, that's fine. Yes, my time is EST. My bad. My time is EST. I forgot to mention that. My bad. If that poses any inconvenience, I can work with you. I can work on that because I did not mention EST. Normally I do when I see time. I don't assume that we're on the same time zone, but I did not say EST each time I said it. So if that's causing an inconvenience, I will change the time for myself. There we go. Good. Interesting. I think that's what it says, right? Whenever I have to select the time from a drop-down menu, it says EST, Canada, USA, something like that. That's how I actually always remember which one to choose, because it doesn't say EST all the time, but it will say Canada, USA, something like that. And I'm like, oh, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one. Pick it. Choose it. That's the one. It'll be interesting to have a brother from Canada. Yeah, I've had clients from Canada before. Yeah. And from a few countries around the world. So, and of course, people don't know a good amount of creators on YouTube are in Canada, are Canadians. If you watch Entrepreneurs in Cars with what's his name? Of course, everybody knows he's in Canada. Even Carmichael is in Canada. He's Canadian, right? There's also there's this beautiful channel that I've sent money to. I've contributed to his PayPal. He does philosophy, deep thinking stuff. He's in Canada also. So a lot of actually great channels on YouTube are in Canada. Oh, the creators are Canadians. Oh, what's her name? That beautiful girl, she just had a baby. She talks a lot about sex. Her work is, she's a sexologist. God, I'm not remembering anybody tonight. She's Canadian. She lives in America. She's married to this American dude. But she's Canadian. It's a lot. It's a lot. It took me a minute to realize that, damn, like, whoa, a good number of these heavy hitters are from Canada. Dan Lack lived in Canada. I think Dan Lack is still in Canada, ain't he? Yeah, Dan Lack is still in Canada. He comes to the US to do his shows, whatever his business, but he's still in Canada. I mean, he's not from Canada. We know that. We know his story, but he still lives in Toronto. And if I'm not mistaken, Toronto is the financial capital of Canada, right? The financial capital. I think that's what I've heard. And yes, there are lots of Haitians in Canada, especially at Montreal. Yeah, lots of Haitians because of the French. They're mostly in Montreal, but Montreal. Oh, Quebec also, or Quebec aussi, or Quebec also. But yeah, I thought that was that's very interesting. I think that was something worth saying for some of you guys watching contents on YouTube. Fellas, give me a few more likes. The scrolling ticker is begging for likes. It's begging for likes. Guys, give me a few more likes. I know this live wouldn't have 15, wouldn't have 10, 15 guys because it's the topic is about church, and yeah, that's fine. But give me a few more likes, at least if you're here, if you're still watching. But yeah. Sweet. Awesome. Oh, Vancouver. Correct. Yeah. Vancouver. Yeah. That's correct. That's what he has said. Yeah. And so, what I've always said is every sector in society has men, primarily men, but lots of women are addicted to pornography. I hope you know that, bro. I hope you know that. I have dated women, of course, who say, it's when I'm horny every once in a while. Because I know how the addiction looks, but that's everyone. The reason it doesn't do as much damage to women is because she ain't got no semen she's losing. She's not losing any semen. She's not losing any strength. She's not losing any power. The only thing is it's an addiction, so it's going to cause her to be lazy, lethargic, and primarily the damage that it can do to a woman is her not willing to work with you, not willing to cooperate with you because she has that addiction. She can go home to her dildos and her vibrators, and so if something goes down, she doesn't have to fix it right away in hope that we can, so that you can have sex. She just goes and ride her dildos. That's a very big practice in feminism out there. And that's how. That's mostly how a woman addicted to porn, that's mostly how she would be affected in a relationship with you. Whereas the woman who's not addicted to porn would want to work things out with you after a couple of weeks because she's getting horny, she's getting there and she wants us to get intimate. But women struggle. But mostly men, every area. It has to be, because every area has men and every man is sexual. And so my background is the church and business. And yes, men are coming to work, men are coming to the office. And when you have the conversations like, man, that guy spent the whole night jerking off. I tell you a true story. I had a job. My supervisor was Puerto Rican, but he lived in New York. I think he grew up in New York. So he has that Puerto Rican but New Yorker's accent. And those days I was heavy fapping, but not high-speed porn, because it was still before high-speed internet. So I'm talking about 2003, 2004. That was before high-speed internet. High-speed internet came about 2006. That's when DSL came about. So 2005, we were still operating on dial-up. Well, you guys have no idea what dial-up is. Man, I wish I could find a dial-up sound. When you go on the internet, back then, when you go on the internet, Uh, it used to make a sound. Okay. Let's see if that's a sound. Hold on. I think I found something. Let's see. Listen to it. This is how, when we, you don't know that, millennials, but when we went on the internet on dial up, this is what used to happen before if we had to wait for a certain sound to know that we are connected, we are online. And it was slow as a snail. You're on, we're connected. We're connected. We're connected. Once you hear this sound, it means we are connected. bro. Yeah, that's the world we came from. And so on dial-up, you couldn't watch porn because no videos were uploading on dial-up. Videos weren't playing. You know, the video would play stop because there was no bandwidth. Okay, there was no bandwidth, and so when high-speed internet came around, DSL, where you just click on that icon and your browser just opens without that sound, it was a miracle. And so that didn't happen until 2006. And I went to work one morning. My face was messed up. Well, now I know. I was yawning, tired, you know, like, and that man looked at me straight in the eye. He said, you need to stop masturbating and staying up, talking to girls, chasing girls, having sex, fantasizing. You're destroying your life. I went like, huh? He said, yeah. He said, since you've been working here, I've been following you. You go home. That's what you do at night. You need to stop because you're destroying yourself. I'm like, how do you know? He said, I'm 54, but I was once your age. I know that's exactly what you do. And so today, I can watch a man and I can tell him the same things. Hold on. Whoa. Man, they need to remove that button. I just banned somebody. Let's see. Ambition matters. A man who is not influenced by lust is a focused man. Absolutely. And a focused man is a dangerous man. Absolutely. I mean, Nikola Tesla? I mean, not because he was a virgin. Lots of men who was married, lots of men who were sexual men managed to develop an unbreakable focus because they, let me finish this thought, because they dealt with lust. They evolved and emerged and rose themselves above it. I guarantee you, bro. I promise you, that's where I'm getting. I promise you, that's where I'm getting. You know, every time I enter a new consciousness on this journey, I share it with you guys. I share it in my videos. I said, I think last week, that my latest benefits are a state of flow and this unbreakable sense of focus and this higher level of detachment from sex and anything concerning women and sex. I still get hard and I still bang hard and I still leave her huffing and puffing in the bed. Yes, sir. But it's not, my mind is not concerned with it. It's not on my mind. Sex is not on my mind until it's time to have it. It's not in my being. And I have a girl. We live together, yes. And we lay down together. And she touches me and I touch her and I see her naked. And of course she does her best. She's always bending over naked. And when she bends over, I'm always behind her. She does it on purpose. But until there is an understanding that we are engaging in sexual activities, sex is not in me. She could be touching me, that's fine. I could hold her, that's fine, in the bed, very tight, that's fine. And I could be hard, actually, when I hold her. And it happens all the time. So I hold her, she holds me in the bed, I'm hard, She presses against me, she could feel me hard, but it's not time for sex. And we just lay down and I fall asleep. So until it's time for sex, there's something sexual that does not click in me. And so I'm free to live my life. I'm free to move around. I'm free to focus. I'm free to be me. I don't know if you understand, but I'm free to do my other things in life. And I think that's the part that causes that man to be dangerous. That's one part. The other part could be, I'm so free that I can make any decision for myself right now, including walking away from a relationship. Basically, when a man is free from his lust, from his sexual obsession, as I have been referring to it in my channel, he owes nobody. He feels obligated to nothing, no one, and nobody, because sex plays a big role in the decisions that a man makes. A man could remain in the city because there is a girl in the city that he knows for sure when he is horny, he can have sex with. But he doesn't know that he's doing that unconsciously for that reason. A man could stay in a certain job because he gets paid and that job is located in a certain area close to his house because that affords him to have sex more often. You don't know, bruh, the amount of things that unconsciously a man does because of the opportunity for sex it affords him. So the man who's free from such sexual obsession is free. He can get up and leave the job, walk away from a relationship. He owes nobody. He could say to everybody. Because, and that's why I always say a man on semen retention is a dangerous man, because what tames a man, what makes a man docile, what makes a man quiet is usually the need for sex. What makes a man unable to take the alpha position with a woman is a concern in the background of his mind that if he displays such strength, she might deny him sex. And so he doesn't do it. If he expresses himself so strongly, she might deny him sex. And so that keeps the man from being alpha, assertive, strong. Understand? Here we go again. I just realized something. Last time we were on the live, that's what happens. He made a comment and I just went for it. It's like, in the church, when one person is reading the scripture for the minister to dissect, it's something like that. The minister says, okay, go ahead now. He reads, for God so loved the world, and the minister goes on, okay, for God so loved the world. It's something like that. There's a certain mental connection and relationship in the ether on ideas and philosophies and that happen where someone says something and you go because it resonates with you. You are on the same frequency you are on the same level of understanding, and you approve and you agree. It's almost like it's what's on here that's being extrapolated and expressed differently from a different man and a different mouth, but it's also your own. You share the idea. It's something like that, and so this is not a joke. This is not a joke statement. This is a powerful statement. This is a powerful statement. This is a powerful statement. This needs to be written in plain sight where men could see it, where men could read it. This needs to be in hallways, in waiting areas. Of course, never. It will never be. But yeah, a man who's not influenced by lust is a focused man, and a focused man, of course, is a dangerous man. A man on SR, a man who has mastered, and a man who has raised himself above sexual obsession. That's how I've been saying it. A man who has raised himself, who has conquered himself sexually, is a beast. Bro, I used to be in such a low place sexually in terms of my such sexual obsession. I used to be obsessed. I remember exactly when I did the work to set myself free. Well, the initial work to set myself free from sexual obsession. Most men are sexually obsessed. Most men are lustful to the nth degree, and it drives them. It drives them. It's like a ring in their nose, and with a chain, and women can just yank on that, and he obeys. He's docile. Such men dares not have his own voice, his own opinion, his own vision. He dares not take on a vision that would require him to move away from a woman, or that would require him to spend less time with a woman. He dares not, I tell you what. And so my girl told me last night she was only working till 11. She's a nurse. She works till 7 in the morning. She called me and said, oh, tomorrow I'm working till 11 p.m. That means she'll be home by 11:30. And I knew what that meant. What that meant was, this is time, like, finish with your stuff before then, or about, then, so that we can get cozy together. But then when she pulled up, I was still on my life, and I finished my life peacefully the way I would do it. And by the time I got upstairs, she was fast asleep. And so, I kept to my vision. When she passed, she said, are you? I muted my microphone, and she asked, are you online? I said, yeah, I'm online. She said, okay, well, I'll see you upstairs. Okay. And I stayed and finished my work, no issues, no problem. And most men cannot do that because they fear the consequence of the woman being angry, or the woman being unfavorable towards him, or some sort of punishment from the woman. And so the man dares not taking a strong position for his life vision, for his life path. All because he's lustful. He is sexually obsessed. It's one of my passions. It's one of my visions. It's part of my core vision to help men to do the same work I have done for myself. In fact, that's what I wrote in my apartment in 2016, 2017. What problems have I solved for myself successfully that I can help men solve around the world, for themselves around the world? That was the question I asked myself. And that I asked myself that question for a year. It was written on my one of my room's wall. I had a room that I called an inspiration room. All the 4 walls were covered with affirmations, vision boards, and stuff like that. So I asked myself the question, and I would go there, stand, and ponder and interacted with the wall. What problems have I solved for myself successfully that I can help other men around the world solve successfully for themselves? And this is the problem that I have solved. Bro, I have told you, If you don't know, check my other videos. Well, thank you for always doing this, or actually for doing it again. Terry Crews was addicted to porn. Yes, yes, yes. And he came out, yes, and stated how much it was hurting his success and his family. Yes. And Kanye West too. Kanye West too. Let's remember Kanye West. In fact, yeah, these guys, and you know, they deserve. Although they may never come across, you know, this live, and it may never be reported to them, but they deserve an applaud. They deserve an applaud. These guys, an applause. These guys came out and they shared their stories. Terry Crews has been on many different platforms, many interviews. Kanye West has not, but of course we understand Kanye West is busier. But they have told their whole story, and just like Kanye West said, you know, he used to go and want to watch girls that look like his wife, that because he likes that kind of girls. And although his wife was home, Kim, that other guy is lusting after, her husband is lusting after other girls that look like her. You know, that's the kind of illusion, that's the kind of shit that porn does to you. He is. Yes. So these are two different statements. So basically, this should have been the first statement. When I put my goals before women, here is the second statement. I would have fear of them giving their attention to somebody else, and that's the fear that you need to conquer. Let them go. Let them go. And the funny thing is, women don't go. Women are there. They're always there. I wish I had understood that when I was before, younger than 20s, when I was told that, listen, women are not going anywhere. Pursue your education, pursue your success. But, I was young, of course, like the rest of us. And so women, when you understand female psychology, when you understand attraction dynamics, you would know that women are attracted to successful men. That's why you need to put your goals first. I know it's backwards in our mind as men. It's backwards because we were taught to pursue the girls first. That's how we grew up in society, to pursue the girls first. But when you know female nature, female psychology, and attraction dynamics, you know that women will pursue the best guy for her, the best guy in her rank. That's what she will pursue. That's who she will pursue. She will pursue the next level up best guy in her world, in her rank. So that's why you have to position yourself to be the best version you can be, and you will be the level up and the next best guy for a certain woman. Well, for lots of them. That's why you need to focus on your dreams first. Yes. Indeed. Oh yeah, indeed. I say amen to it all. I say yes to it all. Give me a few more likes, guys. And of course, I thought about it. I said, this topic, of course, but you have to be authentic to your work. So I have to remain authentic to my work. and not follow what everybody else is doing. Do what the Spirit has communicated to me. If this is the life that the Spirit wants me to have, it's going to benefit somebody in the future. Somebody is going to find it in the future and benefit from it. Or whoever is here is benefiting from it right now. It doesn't have to be a big number. I know channels that I go and watch who only have 2 or 3 viewers, and I'm one of them. I tell you what, I never care that it's only 3 of us watching. I just focus on the content from the man. I'm like, well, this man has great content. Why is it only 3 of us watching? And then I just keep watching and I keep going. Or this woman has great content. Why is only 5 of us watching? Well, people are like that. Just, it's only 5 of us who are meant to be here, and people are interested in celebrity shit and sex, how they can get sex, how they can make money quick, how they can get sex quick, how they can dominate women, and then so. But the creator, the called, must be authentic to himself or to herself. And so sometimes you're going to create content that doesn't draw a big crowd. And who says that 5 people, are not a big crowd? And yes, and how old are you? Ambition matters. This takes a long time for guys to get in practice. In theory, a lot of guys know this, or a lot of guys have heard this, or a lot of guys have experienced this. But this also requires a certain level of emotional mastery that you just mentioned earlier on, for you to do. I'm there now, yes. And when you can do this, a woman actually appreciates you more. She loves you more because she knows she can be moody and does and says things that she doesn't mean. And if you hold on to those things, such as most men do, such as I used to do, and you argue about them, then you fuck shit up, because she's thinking, oh gosh, I don't even know why I did this. I don't even know why I said it, but now I have to provide an explanation to you. Now I have to be engaged in this big fight for something that I didn't even mean to say, or I don't even know why I said it. I tell you what, right? I like that. This past Sunday, I was in the car with my girl. So yeah, you have the age. Yeah. So yeah, you may you can know this information here, right here. Yeah, at 36, yeah. Okay, yeah. So, and the Gemini, oh wow, my cousin. I have a lot of respect for Geminis. Not only we are air signs, that means we understand each other. We predominantly see the world from a logical, practical, and philosophical point of view. As cousins, it's Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And if you want to know how Kanye West and his wife have had such a good relationship, it doesn't mean that the relationship won't go bad or won't go sour, but if you know their story, how long they were really trying to be with each other, although Kim was married and seeing somebody else, and how long Kanye West waited for that to happen eventually, you will know it's because Kanye is a Gemini, Kim is a Libra. They see the world both from a rational perspective first, from a intellectual and logical perspective first. They are words people. They talk things first, as opposed to emoting things first, right? And so my best interactions have been with other air signs. I've had a few Aquarius women that I've messed with. They were the best interactions that I've had because we talk things first, we reason things first. And I've also had women, earth signs. For those of you who don't really understand astrology, they are the least people who would talk. and I'm currently with an earth sign, and I've had to make peace with, she ain't gonna talk. She ain't gonna talk verbally. No, she doesn't. At the beginning, it was a struggle, but I've learned how to deal with it, and I've made peace with it. I just know she ain't gonna talk. Okay, you know, she's gonna take action. The actions that she's taking is communicating something to me, right? She's moving swiftly. Okay, she's saying something in herself, in her mind. There's something going on with her, but she's not gonna say it. I could sit here and have and spend 15 minutes talking to her about something, explaining and talking, and when I'm done, I'm like, okay, so she said, no, I have nothing to say. Okay, thanks for sharing. That's it. Yeah. And so happy early birthday. Happy early birthday, bro. And yes. I mean, you. I mean, you know, if you know astrology, you would understand how I am the way I am, even, you know, on my channel, on my work, right? Even my clients, after a while, they're like, I feel like you're my friend as opposed to my coach. And even in relationship, they say, if you want to date an Aquarius, become their friends first. If you are with an Aquarius is not, even an Aquarius man, he's not the leader of the relationship first. He is the friend, your friend first, and then from that he moves on. I have a hard time dating a girl that I can't be friend with, that I can't understand. When I say friends, I'm still going to be the alpha, I'm still going to be the leader, the man, but there's a certain level of friendship we got to be able to have. We do value friendship, loyal friends, and everywhere we go, we are that social butterfly, along with Libra, that social butterfly of interacting with people and stuff like that. And then we appreciate Gemini because Gemini will tell us exactly what they're thinking, and that's how we like it, because that's how we are. If you want to know how a Gemini is, look at Kanye West. And yes and no, there's nothing wrong with Kanye West. And no, there's nothing wrong with Kanye West. People don't understand the level of the brutal honesty that Geminis have. The world don't understand it. And the level of creativity is freaking insane. Listen to me. Gemini's level of creativity is insane. Just like Kanye West says, you know, it just keeps flowing. It never stops. Yes, sir. I know several Gemini creators. I've met Gemini creators in real life. The level of creativity is insane. Yeezy, music from Kanye West, the way, you know, he's unique in his music. The years he took to perfect that thing. The guy was rapping when his jaws were broken. You know, when you look at Kanye West, even his wrench he just bought, I mean, if you watch the design and the shit that he's trying to do, yeah, highest level of creativity. And so they're very known to tell people truth so hard that people think there's something wrong with them. And they have so many ideas that they bounce from one thing to the next, and people think they're schizophrenic. And a lot of people actually are convinced that Kanye West is bipolar. He's not. The man is fine. The man is fine. There's nothing wrong with the man. The man is just, he's on breed. He's a different breed. He's a Gemini. All right, let's move on to something else. Indeed. And if you are jealous, you can't be with, Tupac. Tupac. I didn't know about Biggie, but I know Tupac. Yeah, I forgot to mention Tupac, bro. I tell you, if you wanna know a Gemini, look at Kanye West, at Tupac. I forgot to mention Tupac. I'm sorry. I forgot to mention Tupac. That's the Gemini, a revolutionary. Let's go. They're killing us with guns, bro. Let's go. Let's talk about it. Like, why are they doing this to us? What? Yes. Kanye West and Tupac. Yes, yes. And quite frankly, the reason that maybe they would kill Tupac, Kanye West is because, he does this is a little bit different. His ways, he's not in politics, pointing fingers. He does, but it's different than the way Tupac did it. And plus, Tupac actually had beef with gangs and stuff like that. That's something else. But yeah, I didn't know that Donald Trump was. All I know that Donald Trump is a big erection walking around. And way before Donald Trump ran for president, I'm not saying that he didn't think he was going to, but before he actually did, I've read 2 of his books. I've watched a lot of documentaries on the guy. The man is a walking erection. He is one of the biggest alphas you will ever know. He had an interview way back that he said he never masturbated, never watched porn before. I think he said last time could have been around 13. And when he was asked why, he said there was nothing to benefit from it. He said there was nothing to benefit from it. So that's a guy who's walking around with a lot of semen. And if you know the characteristics of a man who holds semen, a man who has controlled his lust, where people can say a lot of things about Donald Trump, but lust will not be one of them. Sexual anything with a woman will not be one of them. People might try to put things, but it'll be hard to find the evidence against him type of thing, right? Because he is so much into business and his ways. And what was his show? You're fired type of the slogan, you're fired type of thing. That's the alpha. That's the asshole, and yes, the good asshole. And quite frankly, I've only voted once in America. Yes, I am a U.S. citizen for 10 years now, or over 10 years, so I can vote, but it's not something I do. But I don't care how whoever thinks anything. I would vote for him. Yeah. and other men like him. Yeah. My philosophy of life is a Republican philosophy, not a Democratic philosophy. Really, when you wake up to life, you know that people must be led. They must be led, which essentially could mean they must be ruled. Democratic people are betas. They think, oh yeah, come here together and let's do something. No. Alphas and leaders and strong people say, whoa, wait a minute. Y'all don't know what you're doing. You need to be led. And so I'm going to lead you. I'm not going to let you do this. I'm not going to let you have power over your body and say, well, anytime you want, you can kill or remove a fetus out of your body. That's what the Republican is saying. The Democrat is saying, well, your body is yours. You have the power over it. You can do whatever you want to do. Anyhow, let's move on to something else. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Usually people say, well, astrology is bullshit. I'm like, okay, I mean, if it is for you, that's fine. Well, astrology is a demonic science. That's fine. Hey, that's what it is for you. It means nothing that I am an Aquarius. Okay, well, that's you. But astrology is a good way, like he says, to understand personality, to understand people. If you know astrology, you will have a lot of peace in your life. You will understand a good part of life, and primarily you will understand people. The same way, if you know psychology, you will understand people. You will understand yourself and understand people. And no statement could be truer than this one on the screen right now. Astrology is a great way to understand personality, to understand individuality. In fact, as of recent years, I mean, for the past 4 years, I know when I meet people, one of the things that I ask is, what's your zodiac sign? Actually, if not the primary thing. And the next one will be, what's your personality type? Like if the person has taken the Myers-Briggs personality type test, typology, personality, MBTI, Myers-Briggs typology indicator, something like that. Essentially, the personality test. I asked people primarily, up to now, it's been my practice for the past 5 years, and it's been increasing. It's been more prominent. Like I meet with somebody, we started talking. I'm like, I either would guess their sign, and I'd be like, "What's the zodiac sign?" I'm unable to guess it for whatever reason, and that's where I start. Yes, sir. Before name, before where you're from, what you do. I ain't care about that. Those things are not useful metrics no more. Well, for my knowledge, they're not useful metrics. What's your zodiac sign? Oh, is a very useful metric. What's your personality type? I'm an INTJ. Oh yeah, that's a lot. That'll tell you a lot. That would tell you I see the world as a big scientific project first. Friendships, relationships, I turn them into a scientific project. And that's how I understand things. That's how I deal with people. My romantic relationship is a big scientific project. I make decisions scientifically. I have this little booklet here. It's one of my many books on decision making. It says 50 models for strategic thinking, the decision book. I have the scientific models that I plug information in to make a good decision. If you have heard of CGJ, Carl Gustavo Jung, this is the archetypes and the collective unconsciousness. This is the way that I understand the world. When you know the archetypes and the collective unconsciousness, and that's linked to astrology. Carl Jung spent a great time talking about astrology. He's a believer, of course, in that, because those sciences help you understand the psyche of humans, your own psyche first. And then these are the psychological types. It's a very thick book. They are very thick books. But yeah, psychological types, and very inextricably linked to astrology in ways to understand the psyche. Bro, these understandings still will give you problems with people because you have to develop wisdom. Because in the early stage of my development, of my acquiring this knowledge, I would tell people what I think and what I see, what I know. But then the people are unconscious of their actions. They're unconscious of their thought process. They're unconscious. And here I am telling them something that they're never aware of. You know what they used to tell me, including my own partner? You're accusing me. You're accusing me. I can't believe you stay here. You're telling me that I'm thinking this. You're telling me that I'm behaving like this. I am not. You're accusing me. You know what? Yeah. And they're right. And so with great knowledge comes great responsibility, comes great wisdom. You know what you know? You know the person is lying because you understand, you know the science of lies. But then you don't say anything. You just make your own silent decision whether not to deal with them no more or whether to move on, but you know they just lied because you know and understand you have knowledge, basically. These are among the best books that I possess, that I own. They are among the best pieces of knowledge that I have. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to my time with our brother. Ambition matters. I'm just praying that technology will be on our side. I'm just hoping that that connection on your side and my computer will be, because my internet is good, but I'm streaming from a MacBook Air. It takes a lot of miracle to stream from that, and it's not even a recent one. My old MacBook Pro was, I don't know if I should say lost or stolen, but so I used to do limo in Florida, and I used to keep my business briefcase in the back of the vehicle. And so I took some people to the airport. While I was processing their credit card up front, they asked me to open the trunk for them to take all the bags. And of course, they took my bag. And of course, it's because I violated my own procedure. My procedure is, no, I give you your suitcases. I give you your luggage because I know mine is in there. Because what happens is they didn't steal it. Is that someone among all of them is gonna think everything in the trunk belongs to them? Of course. Why would they think that this bag belongs to me? In fact, in other times, I would unload those people's luggage, and somebody is going to point, oh, you forgot one bag, and they're pointing at my own bag. And so, and I lost my, was it this 15-inch MacBook Pro? And so I stream from an Air. I have that means I have no other windows running. I back up on an external drive, but everything is good. It has not crashed. It's a lot of power. This little program takes a lot. You know, as you see, I run a lot of GIF. All these things that are going are GIFs, and they take a lot of operating power to do. And so we are out of time, at least theoretically speaking. Ask me some questions, guys. Make some comments. And let's wind down. Ask me questions about my main expose on my experience in the church as a young minister who struggled with pornography, masturbation, and who basically slept with the women in the church. You can ask me a question about that. You can also ask me questions about this work, you know. Ignorance is bliss. I didn't see that. Oh, right here. Yeah. That must have been a response to when I said that, you know, I often come across people who, Oh yeah, yeah. Who say, oh, astrology is BS. Okay. You know, at 41, I have learned not to argue with ignorance. Oh yeah, yeah. I have learned that. So when people make their statements and you know that it's coming from a sincere place, and I just leave it at that. Yeah, yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. I mean, true that, true that, true that. I encourage you to stay on the journey of semen retention, to stay on the journey of NoFap. I encourage you to continue this journey. It is the best journey for you. It is the single most result producing journey that you can be on. I have to be honest with you. Everything that I have looked for in my life, I have found when I began NoFap and semen retention. Everything that I was after, and of course, by that, I'm not talking about material possessions. I am referring to spiritual state, psychological state, emotional stability, intellectual understanding, feelings, a sense of self-contentment and contentment, a sense of I'm here and I'm okay with it, a sense of I am present, a sense of that my living matters. You know, there's a difference. I'm not saying that my life matters. I'm saying my living matters to me, first of all, and to some individuals that I come in contact with. And the feeling of I am right here, right now, and I have myself, and I have agency on my willpower. I have agency on my body. I can choose and decide that I'm going to finish this live. Maybe eat something. Yeah, I think I'm going to eat something, whatever it might be. I worked out tonight and I'm running today. I'm running, possibly shooting for another 9 miles, because I'm running the same route I ran last week that caused me to complete a 9 miles run. So tomorrow or today, I'm running the same circuit. So it will be another 9 miles. And I have agency over that. I have no fears. I'm right here. And those things did not come until I began to retain my life force, until I began to retain my manhood, until I began to manage that which I call masculinity. Part of my core philosophy for this work is masculinity must be managed. Your manhood must be managed the same way you would manage your business, the same way you would work on a scientific project. Your manhood must be worked on the same way. That's part of my core philosophy on this work. Yeah, the answer is yes. Of course, very much so. I had a spiritual awakening in my first year. I had a spiritual awakening. I did go through what is described as a Kundalini awakening. It was constant, it was dynamic, it was strong, it was powerful. And that happened through and after my first 40 days on semen retention. It really shook me. So my first year was the year that I woke up. You know, when they talk about waking up spiritually, where that's the year that that happened for me. That my first year, my first 40 days on semen retention took me from a certain state of consciousness that I can describe as a low state of consciousness, and it catapulted me into a higher state of consciousness. I woke up and basically was walking around and I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen this before. Oh, whoa, I understand. What? I understand this before. Basically, every single day, I was getting nuggets of wisdom and revelations drop into my mind. I wrote profusely in my first year. All of my understanding, lots of deep-seated understanding, or a lot of understanding of deep-seated issues, of obscure issues in life came from that first year. It actually made the difference between then and now. So that first year of semen retention was the line in the sand for me that separated my old life and my new life. I think I always talk about and showed my journals that I wrote in the first year. I think I have about 11 journals, and they're thick. They're not just 10 pages or 15 pages. We're talking about 150 pages each, or 75, 80 pages of journal. And I split my pages in half when I write. So I don't write in the whole page. I split it in half. That's a habit from Haitian schooling. I split it, so every page is split in half, and I make good use of every page. And I've written so many loose pieces of writings. I've taken time, I've shown them on my lives, in my videos, I've read from them. Any one of them that I would pick up right now and start reading from would be a deep stuff. And all that understanding came from, well, the majority of it came from my first year on semen retention. It's freaking incredible. This is the reason I'm doing this work, bro. That shit is freaking vocable. Ernest, good to see you again. It's incredible, and thank you for asking that question, because sometimes I don't sit here and remember details, and of course I don't sit here and feel first year when I'm on year 5. But when you ask a question, by virtue of giving you the answer, I get to feel and remember those times. And amazing, rough, very rough, physically rough, viscerally rough, psychologically rough, because I was suicidal in the early part of my semen retention. I actually wanted to commit suicide and murder. I wanted to kill myself and somebody else. And I own guns. I have a permit to carry. In Georgia, one permit. You can carry open or concealed. It doesn't matter. You just need the permit. And I remember contemplating suicide and murder for several weeks. And, you know, here was the funny thing. I said to myself, well, I'm going to die anyway because I'm going to kill myself. I can't take this. It was hard. It was like I was determined not to bust a nut, but it was hard not doing so. And I was determined that if I died in the process, so let it be. You know, you don't know part of my story because you just came across my work, if you did. But I've said part of my story is I said to myself, well, porn is going to kill me anyway. So then if porn is going to kill me, then if I die in the process of recovery, then I was going to be dead anyway. It's the same idea as get rich or die trying, you know, from 50 Cent, right? Well, I'm going to die anyway. So then I might as well try to recover. And if I die in the process of recovery, then I was going to die anyway. And so I was suicidal in the first part, but that, of course, that subsided. But the first year of semen retention was the year that I woke up. I did go through a Kundalini awakening. I did wake up. Like, had ego deaths experiences after ego death experiences. I would just wake up and just understand a whole new realm of life. I would just wake up and just feel like I need to be quieter and more understanding. I would just wake up. It just comes over you. It comes every day. It keeps coming. It keeps coming. You would get a revelation before you can even understand it. A new one comes. I would get a revelation before I even finished writing it, which would take 10 pages. A new one comes. And before I even begin writing that one, a new one comes. And it was very psychologically taxing. It was very psychologically taxing. And so this is why I'm here, though. This is why I'm here, though. This is why I'm here. I'm not saying this is why I'm here because I went through it. I'm saying because I went through it, I'm here to help whoever comes. This is why I'm here. Because I did have a major, major, major transformation. And whenever people have gone through major transformation, that becomes their new mission in life. I hope you know that. But we're not talking about a guy who used to sporadically, randomly watch porn. No. I was a religious fapper. I fapped every night for no less than 3 hours. And 3 hours was just a snack. My PMO meals were 5, 6, 7 hours the whole night. And I got to go to work for years. So my recovery wouldn't be a joke either. Try not to teach your body to go one day without busting when you've been busting for 15 years on high-speed internet. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. It gives me the opportunity to connect to the time. I'm always showing my journals. I might as well show them again, right? How many we have here? 2, 4, 6, 7. And by the way, those journals are not from... Last time I wrote in those particular journals was 2017. So really, all the pieces of writing that I can have to show you with deep revelations lasted 2016 to mid 2018. Really a good year and a half or 2 years. And that shit was crazy. Look at pieces of loose writings. If you can, I don't know if you can see this right. These are, I used to have a job. I was an auditor. It's very thick. It's this is one, and this is, it's a whole bunch. I was an auditor, and these would be the paperwork that I used to conduct audits. And so, and I was recovering. I was crazy. Like I was having hot flashes. I would be hot and cold at the same time. That's how I understood the hot flashes experience that they talk about women having. And this is just half. I have another half of that. And I would, of course, they would think that I'm writing business, job related paperwork. No, it was my mind. My mind wouldn't stop. Like it's like I had a Gemini mind, my revelations, like understanding, revelation, understanding. So I woke up in the first year. And 3x5 cards, index cards. It's a big stack. It's very thick. The camera doesn't do justice. I don't know. And trying to remember which one was my first journal. Which one was the first journal? I came across NoFap. I think it must have been September 6, 2016. And I remember the first day I retained, my mind told me, or something gave me specific instructions. Something said, go to the store, purchase a journal, purchase some pens, and then it's on. Start writing. And that's exactly what I did. And it never stopped. It never stopped. And so I'm going to read from my first journal. I think this is it. I forgot how it looked. From the very early age. So this is 9/17/2016. So about a week after I discovered NoFap and SR. So I think I began, like I told you, where you see, there we go. I told you I started on September 4th, 2016. September 4th, 2016 is the first, entry in the journal. And the first entry there says, mental healing. The mind that thinks the negative thought, that sees the ugliness, that sees the impossibility, the obstacle, the unfairness, the hatred, the lack, the sadness, the poverty, the hurt, and the pain, is the mind that needs healing. For a man, that's the mind that needs healing, for a man as he is in the most recesses of his being. The mind that judges, that blames, that hates, that is hostile to others, etc. The mind that sees, that cries injustice, hurts and pains. The mind that sees misfortune, that feels guilty, that sees, the mind that plots against others, that's the mind that needs rearrangement and healing. There is no real oppression in the world except in thought forms. So earlier I was going to read from September, right? September 16, I think. So here is September 12, 2016. And the title is Overcoming Mental Negativity, Hostility, and Antagonism. When my mind is processing negative thoughts, negative, antagonistic, hostile thoughts about anything, it fails to recognize that the reality is love. Yeah, that it fails to recognize that this is love. Here is another entry that says sexual performance. Of course, I was having ED then, of course, we know that. It says, relax, be still, and know and be confident. I have developed many bad habits when having sex. There is anxiety in me before sex because I'm not sure if the woman is going to want me and have sex with me. Yeah. You can see what I was dealing with, huh? Wow. So, talking about anxiety, performance anxiety in the bedroom, shit, I went through it. I experienced that. I experienced showing up in the room with a woman. She's ready. She's ready. That those thighs are in the bed, them legs are wide open, and my thing is just like this. Yeah. And so I appreciate your question, because every once in a while I'm taken back to an experience of my early days on this journey. You know, I don't sit down and read these things no more, because the knowledge that is in me, the revelations stay with me. The revelations stay with me. So I don't need to go and read. Here is another one on September 9th, 2016, or 20th, 2016. Lost touch of feelings. The problem why I used to fear is because I used to be so logical in crafting my plans that I lost touch with my feelings. Get back in touch with my feelings. You know, that's me talking to myself, actually, I think. And my natural excitement of being the creator, the chosen one, and the manifester of reality will emerge. Generate and live in my feelings. Be excited for my new life. Yes, in my new world. I'm getting excited right now. This is written in September 20th, 2016, the same month, about 16 days, 2 weeks after I found NoFap and semen retention. It says, let go of logic, let go of planning, let go of reasoning, let go of doubt, let go of any thought of control or planning. Just feel the change. Imagine the fulfillment of my desires and live in that feeling. Cancel anything otherwise. Talking about spiritual awakening, right? If you know anything, when the guys who are on PMO are too logical, because when you lack so much energy, you are operating on the lowest echelon of energy. That means you are operating on the most dense part of consciousness, which is really ba 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 ba. You know, the guy who's very military-like operates on the lowest level of consciousness, because he's not flexible. He doesn't have much room to wiggle in his consciousness. So he sees the world one dimension. You do this, you do that, or I kill you. And so as you retain your semen, you become more well-rounded. You become more flexible, because you attain higher levels of consciousness. And I think that's what began to happen there when I got the revelation that I need to let go of my egotistical logic, planning, and reasoning, and basically begin to fall into a state of flow with the universe. That's why I'm here. That's why I have this channel. That's why I'm doing this work, because my transformation has left a mark. It wasn't, oh, you know, I studied NoFap and then I began to attract women. And nah, it wasn't about that. It wasn't that part, bro. It was more like I began NoFap and semen retention, and whoosh, I woke up and my life just, yeah, in the process, I mean, I didn't begin to attract women until way later. because my focus was on healing myself, bro. My focus was on reconnecting to my childhood, on reconnecting to myself, to my inner being. My focus was, fuck, I've lost my way. I don't know who I am, man. I've lost my way. I've lost my way. I'm suicidal, man. My focus was not on how do I attract a woman? No, it was, gosh, I don't know how I'm still alive. That was my focus. My focus was establishing me, like feeling alive, feeling who I am. Random piece of writing, just random. This is February 27th, 2017. The title is Creation. I can create any season of my life the way that I want it through my belief. Right now, I want to enjoy an intimate relationship with a woman. I believe it, I affirm it, I repeat it and feel it in the deepest part of my being. It is true for me and it is so in the universe. I can always change that later the same way I am now creating it. My beliefs create my reality. I believe and I rest in it. Phew. Phew. I believe and I rest in the belief. This is manifestation, bro. I wish my manifestation gang partner, Nico T, was here. I believe it and I rest in the belief. This is what is meant. This is one of the meanings of Jesus died for 3 days and resurrected. This is one of the meanings of putting the seed into the ground and waiting for it to come back up. Neville Goddard has taught a lot of this kind of teachings. You decide the belief, you decide the picture, the manifestation, and you die to it. You rest in it. And you go away. And just like when you plant a seed and you wait for it to manifest. Here is another piece of writing. This is 11/30th. I think that's 16. 11/30th, 2016. It says, the battle is reality with self, between flesh and spirit. There's no one else in the world but self. The more we think highly of ourselves and refuse thoughts of victimization, the more others esteem us. For we treat ourselves through the eyes of others. Raise your standard of self-love, self-respect, self-admiration, self-peace, self-intimacy, self-esteem, and self-image. Our own creation is the title. We make others strong in our mind, and we make ourselves weak in our own mind. We project our energies on others by holding the vibrations for a long time. We do likewise for love. We hold the vibration of love, but we say, they love me. But it is I who hold the vibration of love. We do likewise for submission and obedience and service. We hold the vibration and then we say, they are submissive to me and they serve me. We love ourselves through others as well as hating ourselves through others. We hold the vibration of love and then we say, they love me. We hold the vibrations of hate and then we say, they hate me. The battle is with self. We serve ourselves through others. We disrespect ourselves through others. The more we love ourselves and refuse negativity within ourselves, the more others love us. The more we think of ourselves being worthy, the more others uphold us. The more we esteem ourselves within our own being, the more others esteem us. The more we create peace, harmony within our own being, we send that vibration out, the more others are peaceful towards us. Makes me teary-eyed. Yes, strong men get teary-eyed. Yeah. I hope you know strong men cry, all right? I hope you know strong men feel their emotions, because that's what makes them strong anyway. Is because they have learned to connect with their emotions and things that touch them. I wasn't reading from somebody else's pieces of writing. I wrote that. It came through me, and it took me back. It takes me back to the moments, what I was experiencing, what I was going through. This is why I'm here, bro. This is why I'm here. This is why at 1:20 in the morning, I'm the one here. This is why I'm here. This is why. Because my transformation was revolutionary in my life, bro. I keep talking about this. Is why I keep rehashing the same thing. I'm sure somebody's going to say, I don't know, this guy keeps rehashing the same things. Doesn't he have anything new? No, I don't. Because it's enough to come here and say, bro, keep going. You're on the right journey. Keep going. Because I was lost for several years. Didn't know who I was. Didn't know what the fuck I was supposed to do in life. Hated myself. Was always suicidal. Was always on the verge of committing suicide. Depression? Understatement. Self-hate? Understatement. Sometimes I even think I'm not doing enough in this work. If I can help one man from committing suicide, if I can help one man go through a spiritual awakening, if I can help one man understand the nuances of semen retention, if I can help one man to liberate himself from porn, not that he never watches porn, not that he never busted nut, but that he actually has learned to master himself, because really the problem is lack of self-mastery. Don't think I'm here thinking that a man should never bust it. Not hell no. There's tremendous amount of pleasure when you know how to do it and when you have written for a long time and you finally bust it nut. Really, my philosophy is self-management, self-mastery. And so I'm not here saying, oh, you should never, I don't know, you should never watch a XXX video. It's hard that you would go through life and never come across a XXX video anymore. Let's be honest. It's hard that you would go through life and never bust another nut. But what's possible is you can learn to rewire your fucking subconscious mind. You can learn to rewire your brain. You can learn to develop new freaking habits. You can learn to rewire your cells, where you basically freaking are a new man as far as your brain content is concerned, as far as the content of your the content of your Subconscious mind, as far as your body cells go, you are a freaking brand new man. You still look the same, but you know in the core of your being, you're not the same freaking man. And people can see it. People look at you like, that's not the same man that I knew 10 years ago or a few years back. Something has happened to him. He's not the same man. Do you know my number one joy in life is that this transformation, my number one joy. I feel good. I can go for a walk, and then when my man is asking me what to be happy about, I'm happy about my transformation. In fact, one of the things that I say is, if I never accomplish any materialistic thing in this life, I would not have any regret on my dying bed if I die peacefully. Knowing that I have done this work, one, and knowing that I've spent considerable amount of time helping other men to do the same work. This is epic, bro. This is of epic proportion. Because I was convinced that porn was going to kill me. I have videos on my channel where I said that I was convinced that porn was going to kill me. And so since I didn't die, I've been resurrected. I've been brought back from the dead to speak with you. These are the exact words of those videos. And those videos are like, I don't know, first 10 videos. I have about 150 some, if not 160 now. I believe I was gonna die. I was convinced that there's no way to get out of this. Because I tried everything. I was convinced. I got to a point. Imagine a man being convinced of his own death, or the reason of his own death. Imagine that. Imagine living life with the thought that I'm convinced what's going to kill me, and I'm basically waiting for that death to happen because I'm trapped. I'm trapped. I can't get out. I can't get out. I can't get out. The many nights I cried in my car, in the shower, in my room. I turned on the music very loud and sobbed in bed. I was like, I can't get out. I can't get out. I can't stop this. I can't stop this. It's killing me, but I can't stop it. It's killing me, but I can't stop it. And nobody can help me. Because nobody could help me. Nobody that I talked to understood or knew anything about that shit. They're like, oh, nah, man. Just get you a girl and go have sex. Thank you. Went to, somebody convinced me to go to the doctor. Went to the doctor and they're like, oh, nah, man. Every man watches porn, bro. There's nothing wrong with you. You just have a high sex drive, you just need to get it all out. Oh, thank you. I know, you're clueless. Thank you. You're clueless. Thank you. I went to see a, personal coach or life coach. I sat down, talked to him, and I had a lady, and I talked to them. I'm like, my life is crazy. Like, I can't stop doing this thing. I do this thing for 5, 6, 7 hours. And they're like, well, if you learn time management and if you learn to discipline yourself. You don't understand. Nobody had an idea. I went to a couple of pastors. I called a couple of pastors and I went to their office in private and I opened up and be like, Pastor, I'm dying. I have something that's killing me. Well, brother, you got to pray more. You got to fast. You got to fast more and pray more and read your Bible. Basically, set your alarm to wake up at 4 in the morning and read your Bible. And you got to have a tighter relationship with God and walk with a closer relationship with God. So I'm not here saying that I couldn't get out of it by just staying to myself. No, I sought help. I sought help. I sought help. This is why I'm here. You know why I'm here? Because I know most people out there cannot help you. They cannot help men with this issue. Society yes, Eckhart Tolle. I know his story. Great man. I've owned his books, his audios. In fact, he was very impactful early on in my life when I read his story. Yeah, when he had his awakening. Yes. His first book, The Power of Now. I can't tell you the many times I've read The Power of Now, the many times I've listened to the audio. The Power of Now. Well, that was way back, but it was seed. It was a seed. Okay, it was a seed. It was a seed. And so I'm here because I know people out there are saying, oh, you just have a high sex drive and you just wanna you have a lot of it, you wanna, oh gosh, you have no idea. Oh no, just get you a girlfriend. You have no idea. Guys are getting up, leaving their wife sleeping and go and fap and watch porn, bro. I left my ex-wife in bed. I've been dreaming about her lately. I've had a couple of dreams about her. Sexual dreams too, like sweet, comfortable dreams. Because she and I had that kind of relationship. But I fucked that shit up to PMO. I used to leave my wife sleeping in the bed. And that's a woman that I used to be very sexual with. Like, we loved banging each other. I mean, on the highway, in the family bathrooms, truck stops. No. What do they call them on the highway? Look, man, we were that kind of, in the ocean, we were that kind of couple. That kind of couple that in the empty aisle of a store, yeah, late. And, but I would let her sleep, bang her, let her fall asleep, get up and go watch porn. And so having been through, oh, I didn't even know that I didn't even see the question. I actually saw the second message. Yeah. It's one of the first books I've read on spirituality. Yeah. I mean, if there is somebody out there that I know, whose story that I know very well, is Eckhart Tolle's story. Yes. Yeah. I've listened to the audio book several times. I've read that book I've purchased that book several times because, hey, purchase books, move, lose it, buy it again. I have it now both in Kindle, Audible, and paperback. It's somewhere because I recently relocated, but it's somewhere. I bet you it's somewhere. And so this is why I'm here, bro. I know the snare of porn. I know. And so if I can only help one man on this journey, my job is done. My work is done, because I was that one man a few years back. I was that one man. Interesting. This new brother, Porfirio Bajo. Thanks for being here. It's my first time seeing you. Thanks for being here, bro. We are here every Monday and Tuesday, 8 p.m. or somewhere around there. It could go to 9 or something, but the goal is 8 p.m. I am on time when I have guests. Like tomorrow, I'm going to have Boss at Home, and then next Monday, I'm going to have this man on the screen right here, Ambition Matters. So I'll definitely be on time. But when it's by myself, I can run late, but that's okay. Oh, it's a lot of questions that I was Vocable Ernex 2.0, I did say hi to you. Welcome back, bro. Well, I think some of the things that I was saying and might have answered that question, right? I think so. Some of the readings that I read, I did, and the explanations that I gave might have answered that question. Psychedelics, no. Well, a client of mine kind of got me to order a mushroom bar, but I had it, but it wasn't really an experience. I'm looking forward to that though. I'm waiting to do ayahuasca. I'm waiting to do mushrooms, and I don't know, whatever else that is safe, that is known in this community to have helped people. No, and the funny thing is, you're right. I think the funny thing is, usually the kind of revelations and transformations I've had, they are linked to some sort of psychedelic experience, not mine. Not mine. Not mine. I'm looking forward to that though. I'm very looking forward to experimenting or with psychedelics. I'm just waiting for the time to, for the universe to bring it into my experience. I've researched psychedelics, I've researched ayahuasca, I've researched the experience, and it is in my future. Yeah, I'm down for it. Absolutely. It has to happen, bro. Some of the people that I respect the most on the planet have done ayahuasca, have done mushrooms, and it's in my future. No, it's interesting that when I hear reports of psychedelics, post ayahuasca experiences and mushroom experiences, these guys, they get the same revelations that I have. They have the same understanding that I have. And I'm like, dang, I mean, I've had those revelations through really semen retention, early stage of semen retention. And I think it was because my semen supply was so low. I think I was chronically low. And I've shot blank a number of times throughout my journey, like blank on PMO. Like literally just did it a couple of times and then went back to porn, did it, and nothing came out. Yeah. So I think it's because of that. I think I was so low that retaining shot me so high. As you know, the rhythm and the dualistic nature of the universe, the measure of the swing to the left is the measure of the swing to the right. So the measure of the swing of the movement down is the measure of the movement up. So I was so low. To the degree that I was low was to the degree that I went up. If you understand the law, right? If you understand rhythm and polarity. So what goes in must come out. To the degree you go up, to the degree you may go down. To the degree you go to the left, the same degree you can go to right. And so that's how I understand my experience. I was so low that I was taken so high. Yeah. Can't wait either. Can't wait either. And this comment here, right? This brother here. This is why certain guys, once they come through my channel, I link up with them and be like, hey, let's work together. Because I know the transformation. I know the transformation, so I can see it when I see it. I can recognize it when I see it. I can recognize it when I see it. And so, I can watch lots of guys online and I'll be like, all right, cool. Yeah, you are on the journey, but, cool. It's okay. But I have guys that I respect. I respect Iron and the Soul. I respect The Last Warrior, if you've watched them. And there was this young fella called YMC, Young Men's Conversations. He hasn't produced a video in a long time. So, you know, chances are he might have had a bad relapse, because that's what the journey is made of. But he was a real one. He was a real one. Or maybe he might have gotten busy with work or something like that, or just fall off the journey for now. I thank God I didn't have, since starting this channel, I've had moments of silence, but I didn't have a bad relapse that took me out of the game, or I didn't have, you know, a bad moment that took me out of the game. And now, I'm not gonna say it's impossible to go off out of the game, but I'm so established in it. People in my life, people know I do this work. It's in me so much that any time that I have free, my mind says, go live, go make some content, you know, prepare. Now that I'm studying filmmaking and screenwriting and stuff like that. So that's for me to produce more of this kind of content in a way that to tell stories that I know, to tell my story and other men's stories and stuff like that. So I think that's a blessing. Almost 2 years in, I'm tighter now. I have grown a lot. I have developed a lot myself. I know it for a fact. I've been told it by my viewers who've been here since day one, and I know it for myself, like I said. And so, but there are guys who've started and lost their way back on the journey. I have a lot of respect for this guy. I have a lot of respect for Tashawn's adventure. He explained his adventure, although he's very much on getting paid by YouTube. Like, his content is created so he can get paid by YouTube. But I respect him. I also respect Angel. Angel is AANGHEL, I think. He was one of the first ones. But if you have heard of HTO, Health Then Opulence, unfortunately that was a failure. That was a no fab semen retention failure. Everybody watched the man crumble. And I used to go and comment on his video and say, bro, slow down. You're gonna relapse soon. You need to slow down so that when you relapse, you can come back. Because that's what the journey is. Slow down so that when you relapse, you take a couple of weeks off. And when you come back, that nobody's mad at you. Nobody says, see, I told you, you know. Slow down, just be humble. This thing is not that easy, you know. Don't go there and start calling guys names and start pointing fingers, telling them you're weak. No. I tell my guys, listen, bro, the only difference between me and you is time, experience, and knowledge. And the biggest of the three is time. I just have more time behind me. And more time means more understanding, more practice. My body has been rewired, reprogrammed. My mind, my subconscious mind, and my brain. So really, even without my own effort, my brain, my subconscious mind, and my body will choose the right action for me, okay? Really, that's the biggest advantage I have is time. But I can relapse just like you. I can get fucked up just like you. You know, time is a big factor, okay? Because I've had so much invested in the new life, and you know, I've been away from it from so long. Now, busting a nut, that when I say relapse, I'm not talking about having sex or I have a woman, right? I'm not talking about ejaculating because I have a woman. Relapse for me, what would take me off this path would have to be I go back to watching porn several hours a day and jerking off several times a day. I don't want to say that's impossible, but it's near impossible. Yeah. And I built semen for so long, so it doesn't matter if I even spend 1 week busting. So long I don't continue with that frequency, I'll still be safe, you know. because I don't preach never doing anything. I preach focus more on mastering yourself, on rewiring your brain, on rewiring your subconscious mind, on reprogramming your body, because your body has what is called what is it? It's the type of memory, that your body has. And so, for example, you know how I used to fast cell phone use, and so my phone would be in the car. I'm not using it, but I just have it just in case of emergency, right? And I'm at a traffic light, my hand, or muscle memory, my hand reached for my phone by itself. I swear to you, my hand reached for the phone by itself. I didn't say, where is my phone? I'm driving, and I just realized my phone is in my hand. Like, oh, how did my phone get in my hand? How? Yes. So muscle memory, it's the same thing. And a lot of times that guys relapse on this journey is muscle memory. So you have to recondition your body. You have to reteach your body and your cells, because your body itself will move and put you in a position to relapse without your consciousness, and you're unaware of it, because it has that memory. It has that memory of however you used to act out. However you used to act out on your journey, on your porn. Psychedelics expand the mind, while alcohol and weed, oh gosh, contract the mind. Today's weed is biologically engineered with mixed strains, and it's not a Rasta weed. I think that deserves. Believe it or not, I have smoked weed about 5 times in my life, and each time was experimental. It started in college. We were to do, project paper, term paper, and we were just to pick from, a long list of topics, and cannabis was in there. I got curious, and I researched. I wrote the paper. I researched the thing, and every document that I read on it was positive. Dude, I was like, how am I gonna balance this paper? Because, if you know how to write in any piece of paper, in a piece of writing, it requires sort of a balance, a contrast to balance the views, or otherwise you're polarized, and otherwise you're biased, right? Otherwise the paper is not balanced, and you didn't do good research enough, or your intellectual capacity is still lacking. And I'm like, how am I going to balance the view? Because everything is positive. This paper and I kept digging for cons and cons. I couldn't find cons on weed. So you know what happened, right? The cat got curious. I'm like, I need to try this thing then. I'm from Haiti, yes, and of course they smoke at home, but I grew up as a Christian. And although I have a look that is often associated with marijuana smoking, but I don't. My eyes are naturally red. My inner lips are naturally pink and red. And people have told me, dude, and I'm high on life. And semen retention does not even help, because I'm crazy on energy. My girl tells me, you were born like an Energizer bunny. She said, from day one I met you, you've always been on this freaking high energy. Like, we can spend several days in a hotel, several nights without sleeping. She needs to crash, and I never crash. I don't crash. Even before semen retention though. And people would pull up on me and ask me about the gas, about, stuff. That's how I know the name. I'm like, I'm sorry. I have no idea what you're talking about. I know, I look like it. I know you know that I know, but I sincerely have no idea what you're talking about. And now that I have lax, and that was before lax, and now I have lax, it's even worse. But no, I'm not a smoker of weed. The few times I smoked it was experimental, which means I documented the journey as an Aquarius, right? As an INTJ scientist. And there was a part of the experience I didn't like. There was a part of the experience I didn't like. And maybe it could be because it's hybrid with synthetic, I don't know. But there's a part of the experience I didn't like, and so there was no need. And then later on, I learned more of the tranquilizing and sedative effect of weed. And a lot of people who smoke weed that I know, I would want to be more active than them. I would want to be more dynamic than they are. I would want to be more, active than they are. And so here I am. But no judgment, just knowledge and personal choice. But psychedelics, I'm looking forward to that. Fellas, it's been a great night. My streams didn't get interrupted, so my computer cooperated last night. For some reason, just kept getting interrupted. But thank you for being here, the last two of you. That means you're truly my fans. Thank you for being here. I will see you tonight with Boss at Home. Boss at Home is preparing a good topic to come. Thank you. Boss at Home is preparing a good topic and looking forward to having him tonight and spend some time with him. I recommended a friend of mine who wanted to have sex without ejaculation, and I told him to watch your video that was stated as the obstacle is the way. He is taking cold showers between sex. And he told me his woman is treating him like a god. That's good. I met this woman whom I wanted to bang, and in talking, I told her, I have a channel, I have a podcast, and she said she wanted to hear. So I never sent women to my YouTube channel. I sent her my podcast on Google Podcast. The first thing she clicked the link in the description on the podcast to come to YouTube. And she texts me, "Oh my God, you have everything on YouTube, but you sent me that washed out version of your work on Google." And she sat and she watched a lot of videos, and she watched videos on, sex without ejaculation. And she told me, "I'm afraid of you. I felt like you have the power over women. I feel like you control women. I feel like you're a dangerous man to be around, because with your understanding and what you're teaching these guys, you basically are immovable when it comes to dealing with a woman. And I don't feel safe. I feel like you singled me out for a reason. There's something you want to do with me," which was true. Yeah, I singled her out for a reason, of course. And she said, "No can do. We can't talk no more." But she consumed. She texted me and said, "I'm like a kid in a candy store." She said, "This is like finding an unlocked phone." She said, "Watching my videos was like finding an unlocked phone." It's a treasure hunt. And yes, he's taking showers between sex. That's dangerous, bro. That's resetting his sexual drive. And he's breathing deeply. My woman would say, breathe, baby, breathe. And I'm in the bed. She's saying, breathe, baby, breathe. Calm yourself down. And go at it again until just like, let me just give up, let me just give up because it's just gonna keep going. But I'm happy to see that. Thank you for that report, man. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you for that report. Thank you for recommending my work to him. Yeah. I don't think it's some women. I think it's all women. And maybe the only woman who wouldn't want that is a woman who doesn't want to get pregnant if you're having sex without unprotected sex with them. But yeah. And I've talked about that in those videos, and it's a reward for her, and it's a power that she has over you. She has okay. It's a power. She has a power over you. Remember, each time you bust a nut inside of a woman, you draw closer to her spirit. You tie yourself harder to her. And what up, Kane? And she has more power over you. And every time you don't bust a nut, you relinquish yourself from her power. She doesn't like it. She hates it, bro. I watch my own woman. She can tell me nothing no more, but I can tell that she feels she has lost a certain battle with me. I feel that. I feel like in her ways, she feels like she has lost a certain battle. And it's a silent thing. I see it. I feel it. She feels like, okay, with this work that he's doing, something happened to him. There's a level of control and power I no longer have over him. It's silent, but it's there nonetheless. I feel the same way. I resent it. I feel the same way. I actually resent it. I resent it. I would say something, but I don't want to say it because I have people who watch my videos and they report back to my girl. I don't care. I still say most of what I want to say. But I resent it. I resent it. And in the near future, yes. And I agree. Bro, I'm so happy that you're coming on this Monday, next Monday. You understand. This is a good note to finish on. Where I can tell you a story. I can tell you a story on swallowing. My kid's mother when we were young when we got together, 17, 18, and swallowing is a big thing in Haiti. Like the woman swallows, it's a big thing. And then she began to swallow like all the time, and all of a sudden, her skin began to clear up. Her like she began to be so dynamic. Like I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, this woman is changing. Like something happened to her. Something is happening to this woman. Of course, I didn't know. I was young. I didn't understand that until maybe 15, 20 years later. I was like, what's happening? And then 18 years later or 17 years later, I moved in with a woman. We moved in together. And the same shit happened with my baby mama. It's a certain glow, a certain radiance. The same shit that happens to us happens to them. And her body took shape. Her body became more appealing. Not only the radiance, but even in the shape of her body, like her, the same way your body becomes more masculine on semen retention. Like this is the most masculine face I've ever had. My face has always been round. Now my chin has been elongated. Like, our body takes that masculine shape. Her body took that feminine shape, and I'm like, oh my God, this woman. What's happening? Why do I feel more attracted to her? Because she's glowing. Still didn't understand. And then I bumped into semen retention and I began to do research. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. From that day, I resented. Busting in you is giving you me. Elevate you, making your skin glow. It's an antidepressant. A woman could be half asleep. She's not feeling well. She's lethargic. And you're busting out in her. Within 2 hours, she can burn the world down. Full of energy. She's perked up. She woke up. This is why I'm doing this work, bro. This is why I'm doing this work. Immortal Minds did a video not too long ago where he talks about giving a woman your essence, and he says, if she helps you and takes care of you after you give her your essence, that's okay. But if she takes your essence and goes and builds her own world, then what are you doing? And I was happy to watch that video because it added a dimension to my understanding. I've had times when I was with a certain woman that I was giving my essence to all the time, and she was using that same energy to resist me. Like every time after I give it to her, a couple of days back, she's the hardest woman to deal with because now she feels strong. She's empowered. I swear to you, I swear to God. I'm like, damn, every time. Shortly after we have sex, that woman turns into a monster against me. I swear to you. This is why I'm doing this work, bro. So I can help men understand this. I'm like, and I told her, I said, babe, you're using the same energy I'm giving you to push me away and to black me off and to make me feel your wrath. Do you know that energy comes from me? I'm the one who gives you that energy. My presence and my sex and my semen elevate you. Consequently, or conversely, when you put her on ice and you go a long time without giving it to her, she becomes like a child, docile. weak, almost unhinged. And women know that, but they keep it a secret. That's why I'm doing this work. And that's why I don't foresee stopping. I do want to make money. So I'm going to do other things to make money. I want to start another channel. I want to get into some business out there. But I will continue this work. I will. I have to. I have to. Even if I save one man, this guy whose woman is treating him like a god now because he's taking fucking cold shower in between sex, that means he's not coming and he's busting that pussy. Shit. That's what I want. We want to teach men to know this right here. Whatever is on the screen right now, I don't want to repeat it. We want to teach men to know this knowledge that you're looking at right now. It's an antidepressant. It is. It's a mood lifter. It's a mood changer. It's an espresso shot. It's an energy drink. It's an energy shot for her. Let's end on this note. That's a good place to end. Hey, if you're here, you haven't liked the video, like it. Imagine I did a 3-hour live yesterday, Sunday, and I'm 3 minutes away from another 3 hours on Monday, and I'm coming back this Tuesday night with Boss at Home. Then you're gonna see how much time I put into this work. I believe one day I'll be rewarded. I believe one day somebody will come across my work and they will maybe invite me to speak somewhere or invite me for an interview. And somehow, it will bring me opportunities, That's what I believe. I believe that. Indeed, bro. Right back at you. And same here. Looking forward to our episode next Monday. Very, very much. Keep up the good work. Stay on your journey. Get back to your blog. Get back to writing your book. Get back to producing content on your channel, which I actually still haven't checked. I did ask you to leave me a comment somewhere. Find a video and leave me a comment so I can follow your page. Because in the chat, you can't follow somebody. You can't click on the channel from the chat. You can do so only on a comment when they leave a regular comment. So find a video and leave me a regular comment. And then I will click on you and then find your channel. If you have content, I'll watch. If you don't, then, in the future, whenever, I'll just subscribe and wait. Yes. Looking forward to it. We pray for good technology. I'll do everything that I can do on my side for technology to work. And it's sure definitely looking like it will be a banger. And guys will benefit from it. I'll give you the platform. I'm always talking. I can stay here. I can ask questions and listen and let you carry out, let you share from your heart. Let the guys ask you question. Oh, Neo, damn, I gotta give it to you, Neo. I have to welcome you back, Neo. Welcome back, Neo. But I'm about to finish now. Oh, thank you. Nothing but pure admiration to you and information you are putting here. I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for this. Okay, cool. Well, add yet behind it. You know, add yet behind it. See, I don't have a YouTube channel yet. Hey, Neo, I'm about to finish. It's been 3 hours and 1 minute. I'll be here tonight at 8 p.m. So come back and catch us. But it's good to see you again. And thank you for these kind words as usually. Thank you. I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate, you know, I was thinking today, right? Or yesterday. I was thinking, I've been building a small community of guys. It's been slowly but surely increasing, and it's very tight. It's a fan base as opposed to a subscriber base. And I'm like, And I've been working one-on-one with guys from my viewership, you know? Merca is designing merchandise for me right now. He's done some work with my logo that I'm preparing to, you know, he's a graphic designer. And I've had other guys on the podcast, and now Ambition Matters. And I'm like, okay. Because, you know, there was a time I was just creating videos and I was just speaking, right? But now there's a fan base that's been built, and it's becoming tighter and tighter and tighter, you know. And it's good. So I have hope, you know. This might turn into something yet bigger. So Neo, good to see you once again. Tune in tonight with Boss at Home, and then next Monday, this man here will be on with me. Next Monday, 8 p.m. EST. Ambition Matters. This man is intellectually stimulating himself. Very wise, knows a lot of things that I resonate with. Yes, if I ask you to come on, if I ask you, I say, let's work, let's do this, because my spirit says yes. My spirit says yes. So Neo, I see you next time. Ambition Matters, thank you for being here. And anybody else here that we have 4 guys on. I know Neo and Ambition Matters are 2 of them. The other 2, thank you for being here at this time of the night. My vibe attracts my tribe. And that is so true. And so let's thank the universe. And let's go to get some rest. My clock reads 2:12. That's my birthday. 2:12. All confirmation. And so you are appreciated. You are wonderful. You are great. You are a king. Stay in your kingdom. Stay strong. Stay powerful. Namaste. Remember one thing on this journey. I always want you to remember, and it is this. Listen to it. You are on the right path. You are on the right journey. The journey of self-discovery. The journey of self-love. The journey